Hi, Armoured Pants here, and I have another video for you on premium tanks in Tier 5, and this is the Churchill III, and you have a complete guide. The tech spec, as always, we will look at with Blitz hanger. The Churchill III is for sale permanently in the shop. It costs 2,400 gold, so which is pretty good. And the tank itself, well, it's a heavy tank, it's a Russian tank. Interestingly, historically, part of the Lend-Lease as originally a British tank, which went to Russia during the dark days when they were under a lot of pressure from the Wehrmacht. And these tanks were sent on the Arctic convoys, which went up north through the Arctic Ocean to Murmansk and Archangel. Very perilous voyages. Now, this tank is a decent enough heavy tank. It has a short, stubby gun, which I don't really like the gun handling on. The statistics say that the gun handling is good in terms of dispersion, penetration, etc. But in play, I found it not to be the case. So you'll see I fire a lot of APCR in the gameplay we're going to look at to make sure I pen. Because I found the gun with just firing AP at short distance is a little bit unreliable. It says it has 110mm of penetration, but I got a lot of bounces in previous games, so load up APCR for close quarter combat if you want to be sure that you're going to pen. Now let's have a look at the armor profile. You can see that this is the spaced armor. It has spaced armor around the tracks and at the back. These are the modules that can be blown, so obviously it's tracks can be blown, so you need to have your repair kits loaded up. And then if we look at everything together, we can see the armor profile is, well, it's decent enough. I mean, I actually get the mastery badge in this game for bounced shots, from the XP from bounced shots. So therefore, if you move this tank around, creating angles, as you can see, there's a lot of squares, a lot of right angles on the tank. So therefore, moving it around, if you put those right angles facing enemy shells, they will bounce them, and you'll get a armor profile which is actually greater than the sum of the parts, and you'll actually see that in the game, so pay attention to that. Again, looking at the back, it is vulnerable at the back. The modules are exposed at the back, as you saw there. At the side, so you will get a few bounces, so if you're wiggling around creating some angles, you will get some bounces on the side. If you played against a Churchill, either this or the normal British Tech Tree Churchill, you will see that firing straight into the side of it, you sometimes don't get any pen, and that's down maybe to hitting the spaced armor, or maybe to the guy moving and creating an angle. You can see that if you're top tier, you are front on very good, very strong. Against tier 5s, not so much, and if you're up tiered, you're quite weak. So therefore, it's kind of a top tier bully in that respect. It says here that it doesn't really have any major tactics that should be played, but you can see what I do in the tank is I decide to be aggressive in it. I push forward, I'm moving constantly, I'm using APCR, I'm putting in rounds into the enemy as quickly as I can, and I'm also, while wiggling the tank around, creating those awkward angles and making sure that we get the bounce. That worked very effectively. I get massive base XP in this game, and largely due to all the bounces that I got, the damage blocked. Now let's have a look at the gameplay. Let's have a look at the tank in action. So by the way, the tank is also pretty slow, it's not so mobile, so just be aware of the fact that you are going to be playing in a limited patch of the map, because you are just not going to get around the map. I'm asking the guys to move right here to push the top, which is a tactic I often use here. I have a look at the setup, have a look at the tanks on my team, have a look at the tanks on the enemy team, have a look at the setup and see if it's worthwhile to push forward, see if we can catch some of the enemy, maybe one of their heavy tanks or two of their heavy tanks, or a tank destroyer in the open, and see if we can do some damage. Now we spotted up the BTR and we spotted up the KV. Both of those are pretty well armoured tanks with big guns. I'm not really too keen on pushing onto those, but I decided that we probably need to do something here, because now we're outgunned on top, so I need to push forward. So the tank, as I said, it sort of has an unusual armor profile in that it it seems it's not going to bounce so many shots when you look at it in the armour inspector and Blitz hanger, but in actuality, when you are making angles, as I do in this game, you can bounce quite a few shots, and the turret is relatively strong as well. Now I am firing APCR at this guy because all I can see is his turret, but I am not really getting any joy here at all. But what I'm doing is, though, I'm keeping him at bay. I'm not, so he can't push on. So he's stuck in the corner there. So now I decide to push on up to take a shot, clear that SU. Then I'm going to clear this BDR again straight into him, and I'm just firing APCR here because I really want to make sure I pen. I do not want to be missing those shots because I am exposed and I'm getting shots from the M4. Now I push up so the M4 can't get a shot on me, and again I have a small target on the KV. I've bounced under shot there. As you can see, I am bouncing severe amount of shots. Again, another bounce, and I'm just really creating the angles with the tank to make it very difficult to pen. I'm rocking backwards and forwards. I'm not giving the guys anything really to shoot at. The M4 is getting really frustrated, and then he decides to bugger off because he's not liking this exchange at all. Push onto him again, put another one into him there. Again, I catch him when he's rolling back. The fast reload in the tank makes it really tough competitor in a brawl, in a hit point exchange like that. Now we have 2 KVs here, so this is not really what you want to see, but I notice they're on a long reload. Fluff that shot, but I bounce that shot again. I'm not giving them shots onto the easy part of my armour, which is in between the tracks and the front. I'm actually pushing on, making it difficult. This KV does the right thing. He hides in behind the other hulk of that KV. And I'm pushing on. Again, I'm using APCR. And now on any bounces here, I can't really afford them. If I take a big hit from that KV, I'm going to be in trouble. I don't. He just tracked me, so it's great. Again, another bounce. Damage blocked, so now I've got gold badge already for that. And you can see that's really what wins the mastery badge for me in this game. The base XP is huge. I think it's over 1300, which is really huge in a tier 5. And when you see the collective damage that I do, it's not that high, and it's really down to the shots that I've bounced. We've discussed this before, like, why is that important? Well, it's important because bouncing shots is as significant as doing damage. And this is to do with game theory, which we have discussed before on the channel. But just to give a quick recap, right? So basically, game theory, a bit of a ram there, which you can do when you've got such a strong frontal armor as this tank. So game theory basically is when if you look at it this way, that you lose the game when the total accumulated hit points of your team reaches 0. Conversely, you win the game when the total accumulated hit points of the enemy team reaches 0. So therefore, if you're bouncing shots, you have a double whammy effect on that. Got a lucky player there, which is probably fair enough for this game. Actually, it's so many bounces. You're blocking damage, so therefore your hit points are not going down, but also every shot that hits you that doesn't go through is a shot that could have been fired at your teammates, which is also not going through. So therefore you have a double whammy effect, so you're actually conserving not just your own hit points but those of your team as well, and giving you a chance of the enemy accumulated hit points reaching 0 before yours. Very simple way to look at the game, keeps you honest, and basically explains the game in a very simple way, and points out also how important it is to be a team player in this game. Now, the Churchill III is good value for money. It's 2400 gold, which is just around 10 euros, so it's not extravagantly priced. And I think that's good given some of the things that have been 151%. Push that as standard for premium, but actually a bit higher than many of the others in tier 5. It's good armour, it's going to bounce shots, as you can see and saw in the game, especially with all those awkward right angles. If you move around, you're going to be creating angles that will bounce shots. Minimal mobility, it only does 28 kilometers an hour top speed, and it takes a while to get that. It accelerates very slowly, so you will be confined to playing in certain parts of the map. and the gun is average, and I think it's lacking in real penetration, so you need APCR. I found in previous games that, trying to pen an KV1 as I was doing in that game straight on, very difficult, so you need APCR loaded up, but you can buy it for credit, so use it. Tank is okay, nothing particularly special I have to say, but it is decent value for money, so get it for variety's sake if you want to have something different in your garage. Okay, take care, hope you enjoyed it. Take care, talk to you soon, bye bye, cheers Mush, bye.